Don't let your weaknesses define you. Turn them into strengths. Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and stick around because I drop videos every single day just like this. Mix tips, all types of things. You're not going to want to miss out. So let's talk about weaknesses and strengths as a musician or a producer, mix engineer, master engineer, songwriter, any of that. So quick little story about me. I'm a rapper. I've been rapping like half my life at this point. And what I was like naturally gifted at, if you'd even want to say that, it sounds weird, but I was much better at writing lyrics and coming up with wordplay and all of that type of stuff. The lyrical side of it, much better than the melodic side or the delivery, the tone, the flow, right? I was a lot better at writing than I was rapping it. And melody was my weakness. In fact, when I first started, I didn't even consider melody. Probably didn't even really understand what the word meant. But, I would always get compliments of people like, yeah, your bars are great, your lyrics are great, but it doesn't sound good. I mean, most people wouldn't say that. They're afraid to say that. But I had one friend who was like, yeah, you have good lyrics, but you can't rap it. And that stuck with me. And I realized that was my weakness. So I doubled down on that. I practiced on how I sounded so much and just drilled it in. It started with me just like kind of shouting them a little bit louder and, delivering them a little more. And then it slowly evolved into like basically singing, like with, such melodic information that it was nearing on singing, kind of blurring the lines. And now at this point, I get most of my compliments on my music are about the melody or the flow. I had a weakness, I found what it was, and I turned it into a strength. So this is what you need to do, is you need to identify your weaknesses, whatever they are, and turn them into your strengths. My weakness right at the moment is ad-libs. Last night I was recording ad-libs and it took hours, and I realized I need to change my process or just practice this more. That's actually what inspired this video and this whole thought process. I realized that ad-libs are my weakness, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice them over and over and over, study them. Really listen intently to music and learn what people are doing, and so I can incorporate different techniques into my music. Now, don't get me wrong, I can get them to sound good, it just takes me too long. So I know that there's something wrong there. Maybe it's just my process. Maybe I need to do it earlier in the process or, just change something up, look at it differently. I don't know yet because it's still my weakness, but eventually I'll figure out what it is I need to do differently and I'll incorporate that. So you need to use this same strategy on your music or your mixing or your mastering. Let's say you're a producer. If you know that 808s are your weakness, spend some time, maybe a week, however long, and just watch tutorials after tutorials on 808s. Listen to 808 driven music and just take notes mentally or, physically, but just listen and be like, okay, this song did this and it really worked. Like they have fewer melodic information so the 808 can sound bigger. This song has the clap a little bit lower, so it gives the impression that the 808's louder, right? Whatever it is, this song uses 808 glides. How do I do glides? Watch tutorials, figure out how to do glides. Things like this. Just find what your weakness is and double down on it until it's a strength. Maybe your weakness is a whole area of music, right? Like me, I'm a rapper, producer, songwriter, mixer. I do every step of the song. Maybe I realize, oh, mastering is my weakness. So instead of just one specific thing in mastering, like compression, maybe it's just mastering in general. And I'm going to double down on mastering as a whole and learn everything I can about it. And this is a never-ending process, right? You will level up one game to catch up, and then it's kind of like a video game, right? Like you get skill points and other things, but then one talent tree is lagging behind, so you got to get skill points in that. We're always leveling and evolving, and music is always changing as well, and you need to adapt with the times, or at least learn the strategies of the time so you can implement them, 1% to 100% into your music or into what you do. So you kind of have to look at it like a video game, and you're always leveling up all of these different, specializations, producing, mastering, whatever. Or if you're just a mastering engineer, you need to level up. Okay, I need to level up my EQ. I need to level up my mid-side processing, whatever. And I don't know what you specifically do, but I know you can relate to this in some way. So what you need to do is you need to identify your weaknesses. That's step one. And it can be hard. Some people don't like to be honest with themselves. Me personally, I'm overcritical on myself. So it's super easy for me to find weaknesses. In fact, I probably find some things as a weakness that really aren't. But the first step is find your weaknesses. The second step is tackle them head on. Don't avoid them. Don't try to hide them. Tackle them head on. Read everything you can about it. Watch everything you can about it. Study it in every way. Listen to everything you can that has to do with it. Implement it. Practice it. Just keep doing it. And then One day you're just going to look up not that long from now and you're going to be like, wow, I'm so much better. You might not be a master at it yet, but it's not a weakness anymore. And if you keep doing this and repeating this process with whatever your weakness is and pulling them up to your strengths, eventually you've mastered everything. Now, obviously, nobody fully masters anything, right? We can always get better, but you see my point. Eventually, you won't have any weaknesses. You're going to be a well-rounded, all-around producer, mix engineer, songwriter, whatever. Now, the only caveat to this is if you want to be specialized in something, right? Like, let's say you're a mix engineer who specializes in classical music. Maybe 808s are your weakness because you don't ever really use them. So, but if you know you want to specialize on this and double down on that, that's your one strength, then just double down on your strengths and leave your weaknesses because that's not what you're specializing in. But most people want to be well-rounded, at least for themselves, to be knowledgeable or to have more opportunities. And if that's you, and you don't just want to specialize and be a one-trick pony, you need to find your weaknesses, hunt them down, and tackle them head on and turn them into a strength. And once you do that, you'll be an all-around, well-rounded musician, producer, whatever, and you'll have mastered it all. So there you have it, guys. Little philosophical one for you today. Find your weaknesses, tackle them head on, turn it into a strength. Let me know down in the comments below what your weakness is and how you're going to tackle it. Like I said, mine is ad-libs, and I'm going to tackle it by just doing it more, trying different ways of doing it, and mainly listening to music specifically for the ad-libs to see how people are doing it and getting ideas. Anyways, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. It helps us out. In Swain within Swain Audio. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.